has fallen apart. Scavengers pick at the remains, while the oppressive government hoards what's left. A select few have the courage to fight back.
Good evening and welcome to year 2099. I'm Patrick Short, co-director with Fiona Jenkins. And fans, we need some help from you to get this party started. An apocalypse has happened and we need to find out why. So what we're going to ask for in chat is some of your suggestions. So let's practice that. Could you set your chat to panelists and attendees rather than just panelists so everybody can see your suggestions? And once you're ready to do that, why don't you throw on a scale of like 1 to 9 how you're feeling tonight? Just let's see some numbers thrown in there. If we could, let us know how you're feeling. Is anybody alive out there? Yeah, we're getting some good stuff. Solid 7, thank you, May. That's awesome. That's great. So what's going to happen tonight is a slightly different year 2099. Oftentimes we have the evil government and the rebels, and this week we're not going to do that. So we're going to have some rival factions, and in this world where civilization is almost lost, there will be 2 rival factions. And we're going to find out something that's very precious in that world. And we're going to ask you this question. The last time you went to Target to buy something, but you came home with something else. So what was that? Throw that into chat. And while we're waiting for that, the next thing that we're going to ask for is we're going to ask for names of the 2 rival factions. So let's look in here and see what we've got. Kinetic sand, really awesome. That's terrific. We're set in a desert though, so I'd be a little scared about kinetic sand. And let me see, a bag of cotton balls. You didn't intend to get that, and you got that. Okay, great. So these are all incredible things, but you know what? I think I am going to go with kinetic sand, and we'll see how kinetic sand works in this world that we have. I have no idea how it's going to work, but we do need a couple names now of the factions that we have here. Somebody said Genovese sponges. I don't know if that's a faction or if that is something we'd take. Grand Moebius and Master Blasters. Moebius. Moebius will be the name of one of the gangs. And I love Cubs and White Sox, but too close to home. Oh, Mobius, somebody's telling me. Okay, great, I'll take it. It's Mobius. And the other group is the Scholars. So we have Mobius and the Scholars. All right, and us and them is how it really works, Tony. Thank you. That's awesome. Fantastic. So Carburetor Jane's group is Mobius. Deirdre Widefinay's group is the Scholars. And that's what we've got. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy, if you can, year 2099.
You know how you make kinetic sand? It's just regular sand. But then, you put silicone oil on it. That's what makes it all kinetic-y. We found after civilization broke down, that the only way to protect yourself from the radiation was by coating yourself in silicone repeatedly. I'm Brock Throckmorton, and I was kicked out of the Scholars many years ago for hoarding silicone. But I'm gonna find my way back in, whether it's the Scholars or the other side.
Ah,
My name's Millie. I'm an amateur silicon miner for Mobius, led by brave Carburetor Jane. I'm only 15, but I've been the leader of the mining exhibition group since I was 12. I'm an engineer. And although we're running low with silicon, I know we can find more. We just gotta dig deeper.
My name is Jazz Coolidge. What you see here, it may not appear to be anything worth a nickel, but that's only to the naked eye. I am a trained professional. I work with the scholars to come up with this new material. They call it sand, synthetic sand. It's amazing. You can turn it into anything. You can make a lot of money too. Yes.
Hi, I'm Cass. I'm part of the Scholars, but I have a secret that no one knows. Deirdre Whitefenay is my mother, but I sneak out, and I've been tracking the traitor for a long time. I don't think Brock Throckmorton knows that I track him, but he was my friend back when we were kids in the Scholars tribe. I also someday hope to master kinetic sand and be able to bend it to my will.
I'm Carburetor Jane. My pa used to work for the Mobius Mining Company. That's what landed us out here when everything fell apart. Anyway, I carry on the tradition. Silicon. It's the wave of the present. I don't know what kind of future it has, but right now it's keeping me in water and food.
Sorry. My name is H. And I was so petrified by my fear of silicon that I could not speak for a moment. My father was lost in a tragic silicon-related mining accident, and ever since then, I've hated Mobius and everything it stands for. And even though I'm a part of it, I swear one day I will bring it onto the ground and avenge my father. Right before he died, he left me this scar.
Hi, I'm Nina, and I'm one of the Scholars as well. I love hitting the books every single day. And Jazz Coolidge is teaching us this new way of making kinetic sand. And I haven't told him, but I've been keeping a bunch of it underneath my bed and experimenting on my own.
I'm Andre Besseling. I'm with Mobius. Without Carburetor Jane, we would be nowhere. She doesn't look like a leader. She doesn't talk like a leader. That woman is a leader. And I'm grateful that my daughter Millie and I are still allied with Mobius. I'm grateful. And I'll do anything to change the landscape of our future.
The reality is, in a world like this, everyone's out for themselves. That's how it's been ever since everything collapsed. Since the silicon dried up and we can no longer produce the kinetic sand we need to live. My name is Deirdre Widefinay, often mispronounced. I lead the scholars. And whether we go separately or together, I will reestablish kinetic sand to the greatest of its height.
And this is the year 2099.
You're here. Thank God. I have something I have to tell you.
What is it?
I found something in the mine.
What, Millie?
I don't know how to describe it to you. Besides, I think it might be alive. I think that might be paranoia, but I swear I opened a hole in the wall of the mine shaft and I thought it was silicon. But when I touched it, it felt like sand. I think the Earth is making kinetic sand.
Shh. Be quiet. Don't let anybody know this.
Well, but we have to tell Carburetor Jane.
No.
This is her operation.
Look, Millie, some dangerous things are going on. I think you found some kinetic sand. There's too much for it. It would start a huge war. We can't have another one of those.
No, I know that the war is what killed your father in such a brutal, horrible, bloody, violent, traumatizing, awful,
I don't want to think about it.
way.
I don't want to think about it.
Sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Dark memories.
Listen, I've been doing some experiments because, as Jane says, I am the greatest mind in this group. No offense. And
Yeah, I can't read.
I know. I tried to teach you 3 years ago. It really didn't stick. I think that if we mine some of the sand, we might be able to broker a peace with the scholars. Because they need it just as much as we do.
A truce. I like that. Maybe this can end our feuds. Our clan feuds that we've had for years.
It's all we've ever known as, 15-year-olds, but we can't tell Jane because if Jane finds out, she'll never let it fly. She hates Deirdre. Okay.
I might have a source we can meet with and try to establish a trade.
Who?
She goes by the name of Cass. We go way back.
Is she
way back
or something? Is she what, is she pretty or something? Do you have a crush on her?
I mean, that's not important. I'll establish our grounds and I'll figure it out.
Okay. Send me a time and a place. You can roll up a little piece of paper and you can stick it in the mine elevator, and I'll find it and just tell me where to meet. And
I don't have anything to write with. I'll just use the sand.
How to write. Just yell it to me when everyone else is asleep. Or we could meet here tonight and we'll just go together.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's do that.
Sounds good. Okay.
Scholars, where you at? I bring trade for peaceful passage. This is a used 1995 computer mouse pad. You can squeeze some silicon out of this pretty easily. I have a couple of flower pots. Smash those up. There might be some oil in there.
This is interesting, but I think I'm going to need a word with Nina alone before we can consider your trade.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think silicone is it anymore. That's not enough.
It's kind of 2098.
I know. And I'm just like afraid if Jazz finds out that we've been talking to Brock, he's going to get upset.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Jazz wouldn't like it at all. He'd go mental.
Yeah.
But hey, I think there's something to giving Brock another chance. You know, just like slowly easing it in there.
Okay, maybe a flower pot.
Well, I like the mouse pad too.
Okay.
Yes.
Brock.
We have decided that we will let you come in, but you have to be really quiet and sneaky about it, please.
I don't need to sneak about no more, for I found the source. You may have kicked me out 20 years ago, but that don't mean a man can't explore.
Can you explain a little further? You found what? More flower pots?
I didn't find flower pots. Found KS.
Kinetic sand?
So much kinetic sand, you couldn't even wrap your mind. It's an ocean. But only I know where it is. And none of you know where I've been. I don't think any of you know my whereabouts for the past 20 years, so there's no way you could have known where it is.
Brock, one more word with Nina, real quick.
Okay.
Look, there's something I haven't told you.
What?
No, don't get mad. I know you're my best friend, and I usually tell you everything, and you know all my crushes and secrets and food allergies. I have been following Brock Throckman for the past, 5 years.
What? Cass, you didn't... I didn't even notice you were gone.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Look, he keeps going to this cave, and I don't know, I thought it was just, his summer home or something, but, I think I know where the kinetic sand is. And he doesn't know that we know.
Okay,
Look,
so...
I don't have time for all this. Look, I can take this information to Mobius just as easily. And you know what they say about Mobius? They keep going and going and going, never stopping.
No,
They can probably give me more than you can.
No.
Okay.
Well, we take it. You can be with us.
Come on in. Stay for dinner.
But you're just gonna have to behave yourself, okay? I mean, we're gonna have to introduce you to Deirdre again and sort some things out.
Deirdre! That dry sand woman?
She's my mom. Hey.
She is our scholar, and you're going to have to respect her if you want to stay here.
Fine. I'll do it. But I ain't happy about it.
Right, let's go.
I'm going to want the mouse pad.
Couple of things, Jane.
Speak your mind, Andre.
We saw that loner, that Brock Throckmorton, outside the scholars' camp.
I don't like him. In fact, he makes me very angry. Murderously angry, Andre. You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen that anger over the years, Jane, and I respect I respect it. Listen, we've had him followed. I think he's on to the kinetic sand.
What?
I think he's found a cave, and I think the same stream of it that we've found in our mine shaft may be connected to that cave on the other side of the ridge.
Well, I tell you what we can do. I have a plan.
You usually do.
You know that little Millie?
It's my daughter, yes.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course. You know, that girl is the brightest mind in our operation.
I like to think so.
I bet she could talk the secrets out of him.
Oh, one of those little trap things with, hey, I like you, I like you, I like you, and tell me what you know.
Yeah, I like to call it a trap.
Yeah. All right.
So where is she?
It's a brave girl. Last I saw, she was out in Sector 16 with H.
Well, call her in and encourage her to prepare a speech for Mr. Throckmorton.
All right. Maybe we could send her as an emissary. If he's in with the scholars, maybe we could send her as an emissary to all of them.
Well, you know, I wasn't going to suggest it, seeing that it's your own daughter and everything, but if you're willing, I'm willing.
I'm willing to roll the dice for a better future, Jane. You know that. We're all
To
in our
Mobius.
family.
We just keep going.
I'll find her.
You do that.
I thought the answer might be in here, but it isn't. So disappointing. And now, all of our young people, they talk to me. My daughter comes to me and tells me she's thinking of trying to make peace with the others. She doesn't understand. There is no peace. That is not how this works.
Man, this cave just keeps going and going.
You know, we've been walking for hours.
Must be on the Mobius side.
I think we are.
Okay, I told Cass to meet us here. It's not a big deal or anything, but we're on this kind of wavelength level. Cass!
Oh, she is really pretty.
Hey, Cass.
Who's this?
Oh, no, she's cool. This is Millie. She's the one who found our resources.
KS in our mine shaft. I think that there's a whole bubble of it that connects to this cave, where you have a whole stash of it too.
Whereabouts? Is it separate? Is it the same?
I think it's like one long strip of kinetic sand that leads from the side of our mine shaft all the way through the ground and then somewhere to the top of this cave.
Okay, well, thank you for telling me this, H. I really appreciate it.
It's pretty big.
Listen, Cass, right?
Yeah.
You gotta not tell the leaders of your... You can't tell Deirdre. You can't tell Jazz. You can't even tell any of those other engineers who are working on making their own KS right now, because we all need to come together. Because we all need kinetic sand to build our homes, to build our structures, to protect ourselves from the radiation. I mean, these silicon sleeves aren't doing anything for me anymore.
No,
I mean, look at H's radiation burns. Makes him pretty, undesirable and, like why,
Hey.
attracted to him unless they knew him before he got the radiation burns, like if you've known each other since you were kids and stuff,
Yeah, no, I feel you. I like the idea of expanding our our alliances and stuff, but look, Deirdre's my mom. I'm supposed to tell my mom and everything. I'm a teenager, for goodness sakes.
Cass, when was the last time you think your mom actually looked at you and said she loved you?
That's kind of personal.
Her head's just in books all now. She's just trying to understand the enemy team so she can crumble them. No, it's okay, Cass. Oh,
Okay.
crap.
Don't bring up her parent problems, all right?
So bad.
If you don't have parents doesn't mean that those of us who do don't have
I know, I can't connect with anyone. I'm sorry. Let's start over.
You're right.
Cass, you have to forgive him. His dad died in a horrible, violent, gruesome, gnarly explosion in a
I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry.
I said already, I don't like talking about it. Look, we're all very emotional right now. Let's just take it back. I have a plan. What I was thinking is maybe if we take this KS and we hoard it for a little bit, maybe we can turn it into something. Something that we can use to like force our two tribes into a peace agreement. Something like that.
Well, I have been learning KS manipulation from Jazz on the weekends, but this seems like a big endeavor. I mean, how are we going to ensure no one else finds it?
The Jazz?
Yeah, he's my godfather.
No way.
Oh my gosh. He's the best KS manipulator in the world, man. Nobody makes the sand move like Jazz does.
I've seen him do some crazy stuff.
See, this is why we need to come together. Instead of keeping Jazz on one side and Carburetor Jane on the other, if we all came together, we could combine our skills.
There's someone
Millie.
Oh my gosh, guys, that's my dad.
Oh my God, I have to hide. Look, okay, I want to meet you again, and I want to bring someone with me so we can talk about this more, but I gotta go.
Okay, me too.
Bye, H.
Bye. Gone too soon.
Oh. The smell that is beautiful out here. It just smells like success. We are going to make this work. KS is going to be global everywhere.
Jazz, I have some good news.
Yes.
Cass says she knows where there's a whole field of KS.
More?
Yeah. I'm worried though, because I know she's been hanging out with H,
He's a quite unusual young man, to say the least, but he's quite delightful sounding.
His name does have a nice ring to it.
Sorry, I'm late. I came from over there. Hi.
I'm so happy to see you. You look famished. Here, have a little drink of this KS, this new KS. It turns into liquid soon as it touches your stomach.
Thank you. Ooh, it's tingly.
Yes. See, it works. It works perfectly. And soon, in no time, we'll be able to eat it as well.
Show us more.
It's delightful. Yes. I even made clothing out of it too. Look. Artificial fur.
Oh my goodness.
Made from KS, yeah.
Perfect for the desert.
Look, Jazz, I have a question. For our weekend lesson, do you think you could teach Nina and I how to move very large amounts of KS from one point to another point without making it really obvious? Just off the top of my head.
You say you want me to move a very valuable substance.
No, I want you to teach us how to move it so that no one would know.
Oh, you want me to give you valuable secrets and not tell my superiors about what's going on?
Yeah, that's kind of the gist.
I like it. Let's do it. I think chaos should be everybody. Everybody should drink it, eat it. Yes, everyone. Everyone. This should be for everybody. Yes.
I just made a hat.
Oh, I just made a rock.
We're well on our way.
Moby-Eye, come out now.
Hello, Brock Throckmorton.
I heard you was looking for little Brock.
We've been looking, and we've seen little Brock.
You don't have to use no subterfuge if you want to find me.
No, we don't. And we did. Tell us what you have to tell us, Brock.
Look, I know where you can get all the dang kinetic sand you could ever about want.
Oh, yeah?
Already offered it to the scholars, but they didn't put up much in the way of a down payment for my services rendered.
I see. Well. And you're expecting us to pay you more when we already know where it is.
So wait, no, you don't.
Oh, we don't, do we?
Dang it, Brock. Now I thought we was gonna go together like two silicon polymers and form some viscoelasticity, but
well, we can still form some Jane, take it easy. Take it easy, Jane. We're talking.
Turn around real slow, Brock.
We're talking,
Ain't no
Jane.
need to get that carburetor hot now.
Don't drip any gas on the carburetor, Jane.
Came in peace.
We're talking. We're talking about viscosity or something.
It looks to me like he said no. I read body language.
How about you read this, Jane?
How dare you!
What?
You know why I came out here? I came out here to offer you a place here at Mobius.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, and given that it seems that my information has already been divulged to multiple sources, I'm inclined to accept.
I think you'll be a very fine addition to the family.
We'd love to have you in the family, Brock. But every outsider,
carburetor, Jane?
Every outsider.
You trying to call me part of after what you did to my family? You think we're family?
I think we could be. I think there's some making up to do, sure. Some regrets.
She's making you an offer, Brock, and you better take it.
There's only one way to settle this. With a little silicone scrap.
All right.
And with that, Brock pulls a handful of kinetic sand out of his pocket and throws it directly at Carburetor Jane's face.
Ugh.
She rebounds with her own handful of silicon, hitting him directly in the chest, knocking him backwards.
Ow, my peck!
Lashing out, Brock sweeps under Andre's legs and then hits him in the face with a mouse pad. Jane, to avenge Andre, brings her fist right up into Brock's jaw. Stumbling back, Brock throws another mouse pad as he falls, hitting Jane across the face. Andre sweeps in with a smack right across Brock's face. And as all three are injured on the ground, they come to a stop.
That was good.
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Jane!
I mean, you can't see it, but there's this wicked paper cut right across my face, right here. Right, it's really deep.
Jane! I'll get you back to the infirmary. Such that it is.
I don't know.
Brock?
We're all square though, right?
Absolutely. You're in.
Oh yeah, you can stay. You can stay, but
That was worthy.
I think
Jane?
I'm done.
Come on, Jane. Come on. Come on.
I'll do my best. Help me, Andre.
What have I done? What have you done, Brock?
All right. We're back again.
Something I have to tell you before they get here, H. Look,
What is it,
two
Millie?
things. Actually, the first one has more to do with my feelings, and then the second one is like really vitally important to the human race. Which one do you want to hear first?
I mean, whichever one you think is more important. Feelings. We never talk about feelings.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about my feelings. That's definitely more important.
Okay.
Ever since I tried to teach you how to read when we were 12 years old,
And I couldn't.
and you couldn't. I've been in love with you, but you never saw it. You only ever had eyes for Cass and other scholar girls, and I get it. I understand. It's because I remind you of the before times when you still had a dad before he died in his grisly, horrible, violent, bloody, horrible accident. But I just had to tell you before I tell you the other thing, which is this.
Should I respond to this thing first or wait
But
for
do you
the other
want to,
thing?
or do you want to hear the... No, you respond. I want to hear that.
Millie, it's so hard, you know. I'm not good at talking about this stuff. My dad never taught me before he went. It was all mine this, mine that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're so smart and you're so intelligent. And I don't know. I feel like I just slow you down. And then there's Cass, you know. We just go way back. Can I have some time to think about it?
You can think, but... Oh, hi, Cass. I was just about to tell H some news.
Did I interrupt?
No, you weren't interrupting anything important at all, or anything, no. So
I overheard some like dramatic music. Should I go away and I can come back?
No, it's okay. You can stay. I
The
should
chaos, it makes weird noises.
Yeah, it's just the cave. No feelings or anything. So I found something that I think we need to share.
I want to introduce you to someone.
There's a lot of sound coming in from this cave deep inside.
No way.
Find it.
Yeah, there is.
No
Wait, that
way.
voice, it's so familiar.
Oh my gosh, is that Jazz?
Hi, everybody. Look at you. Did you hear about the magic dirt that was found in here?
Yeah, I found some of it, and then someone else found some. I kind of found it.
It's synthetic and you can make it into anything.
Right. That's what I had to tell you. Hold on. I got a lot of stuff in here. But do you know what this is? It's, according to Carburetor Jane, she's been around for a while. It's a battery.
Yes. I haven't seen one of those in ages.
Here, take it.
Oh,
I have to show you something.
oh my
Jazz can do
goodness.
something with the battery and the kinetic sand that I think could either be really great or really, really bad. Jazz, what happens when you use your kinetic sand powers to bring the sand and the battery together? Show us.
Well, you take this battery and you put it inside a box, and all of a sudden, you get this new thing that's becomes edible.
My
You
God.
can actually eat it.
No
Knew
way.
it.
Cass Louise Widefinay, are you down there? I am coming in there. I am gonna. What is going on down there? I am so Cass, you didn't. You didn't get together with these Mobii. Oh, Cass, I am so disappointed. And you, Jazz Coolidge. Oh, I could just about be fit to be tied.
Mom, look, I know you have this long resentment, and especially like considering H's really terrible, grueling, awful, blood spilling death of his dad that really was just terrible. And
I don't want to talk about it.
look, I know that there's been rivalries, and I just think it's time to put our differences aside because I have something to say.
All right, and this is the cave that I found where it has all the kinetic sand and.
Rock?
God dang it. How'd y'all find this cave?
Dad, what are you doing with Brock Throckmorton?
That's a very good question.
Brock, you said you were going to come into our camp and stay.
Well, you know what they say about old Brock Throck. When it's time
Now,
to
hold on. I know what they say about you, Brock. You've been running around here selling a bunch of lies, telling people that you have the secret.
Look, you guys, I am in love with H.
Wow.
What?
Oh, no.
What?
Oh,
I knew it.
no. You don't know what you're saying, Cass. You don't know what this means.
I do know what I'm saying. And though we come from different tribes, two houses, both alike in dignity, in the fair cave lands where we lay this Zoom, I still love him.
I don't know what to say. I'm not good at this stuff. My dad never taught me how to do any of this.
Well, nobody is real good at this stuff, and nobody has noticed I've got a weapon.
I noticed, Andre, because you've always had a weapon of some kind. You're always toting some big weapon. What's the deal with you and the weapon?
It's all about power and status and control.
When will you ever learn?
Yeah, Deirdre. It's
No.
uh,
Don't
Now
use it.
stop
Listen.
it. Get him.
Nice weapon, Andre.
It's-
Typical.
the battery's dead.
Yeah.
Listen, the only person with any skills or tools of value right now is Jazz Coolidge because he's got a AA battery and a boatload of kinetic sand. And he's got to show you the delicious snack he can make.
Wait, snacks?
What kind of snacks? Jazz, I never would have expected.
They
Look.
have plenty of delicious snacks that you can make with all this kinetic sand.
Not only that, it appears you can make packaging for the snacks.
Yes. You just put it in here and mix it up and shake it.
Not only that, it appears you can make amends.
That's a Jane. You're well enough to have walked here.
I just put some super glue on it. It's good.
Listen, if that snack has delicious cream filling and it will last for a really, really, really long time, I think we can celebrate. I think we can have a wedding. With
Wait, who's getting married?
Wait.
Which one of us?
That's it. Snacks, amends, love. Love is just like a snack. Love is like a Twinkie. You can't just have one of them.
I love it that we all can come together and enjoy finger-sized sponge cake with a synthetic feeling. I love
Wait,
it.
Hold on.
Rewind.
Are you saying you can have more than one love? Are you trying to say that you're picking neither of us?
Or
Or
are
both
you
of us?
suggesting like a harem type situation? Because
Because I'm not into that.
What's going on? You just can't throw poetry around and
Look.
not pick one.
My emotional detachments from my father.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You know what, Cass? We might be too good for this guy.
No, what, Millie? I think you're right.
I think until he learns to
Wait a
process his
minute.
emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah, I think that we need to focus on ourselves and really prioritize self-care.
Exactly.
That's a good point. But you also have to have some empathy. His father died the most painful, extended,
I don't want to
bloody.
talk about it.
I really think that he needs a healing period before he moves into a relationship, because it makes no sense for you to carry so much grief into a new established relationship. That
Jazz, you're speaking complete truth. Jane, Deirdre, Jazz, can you see that we should be united?
Oh, clearly.
Yes, I agree.
Then, like silicon polymers, sand, and perhaps some other chemicals that the companies aren't telling us about, we are joined as one blob of kinetic sand.
We are joined as one.
And, like the kinetic sand through the hourglass, this is the year 2099. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you learned a lot. The future looks great. I'd like to reintroduce all of the players. First of all, as Deirdre Widefinay, it's Ruth Jenkins. As Nina Rachel Rogers. As Cass, Sylvia Grousfald. As Jazz Coolidge, Michael Buchanan. As Brock Throckmorton, Cohen Jenkins. As H, Eli Carey. As Carburetor Jane, also doing our soundscapes, it's Amy Gray. As Millie, co-director Fiona Jenkins. And as Andre, I'm Patrick Short. It's been a pleasure. Throw us some comments into chat before you go. We'll play a little music for a few minutes. And also, although these shows are free of charge, it'd be wonderful if you could help support CSZ Portland. And I'm going to throw Venmo and PayPal into chat to allow you how to do that, give you a way to do that. That would be so awesome. And I think actually there's a question, is there going to be a Q&A? I think we will bring the cast back for that. So let's close tonight with a little question and answer session with cast members who are willing. If they're feeling shy, they don't have to come back. Awesome. And thank you for all the lovely comments in chat. Thank you. Got one that says we're adorable. That's the second time that word's been used for something I did today, so I feel very proud.
Well done.
The first thing was I told somebody I didn't know how to post to our Instagram account, and I was told I was adorable with a along with it. Cool. So anybody out there in audience land, if you have any questions for the cast, any curiosity about the tonight's events, we would be glad to help you. I'd like to thank everybody in the cast for working so hard. Awesome job. It was fun. It was a blast. It always is. So cool. We've got a thanks for a great show. We enjoy that. But anybody have any questions? Because otherwise we can ask questions of each other and have you watch for a minute. So why don't we do that? Actually, let's make the rounds and see where people are from and what they do out in the real world. Cool. So let's start with Carburetor Jane, Amy.
Oh, hello. Hi.
What's your real world thing?
Well, a real weird thing or a real world thing?
Real world thing. I just kind of while I was talking.
Yeah, I got it. My real world thing is that I'm a real life puppeteer and fine artist. I do pastels, and I work with comedy sports online and offline and on stage and off stage whenever we can get together. Um, and that's pretty much me. I'm sitting here having a pandemic.
Cool. We're going in my order, and we do have a question coming up, but we'll do a couple people, then we'll take a question. Let's go to Michael playing Jazz Coolidge. What's your real deal outside of what you did tonight?
My real deal is I'm originally from New York City. I'm a dog owner. I love Twinkies, and I don't eat dirt.
That's awesome.
And
Let's
he's
go.
a radio guy, right?
Pardon?
And he's a radio guy.
Yeah.
Radio personnel. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Rachel Rogers, who played Nina.
Yeah, I'm out in the real world. I'm in Portland, and in real life, I have a funnel marketing job, so I do that in my spare time.
Oh, spare time. Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, we're going to go to a question that we had from Marnie. Thank you, Marnie. Is this all improv, no practice, so amazing? That's two questions and one comment. Thank you. I'm going to throw this to Ruth for about the is this all improv and no practice?
Right. Well, it is all improv in its moment while we're actually playing. It's all improv. There's certainly no scripting. And things aren't really specifically set up because they run on your suggestions. We do get together, like everybody here does improv in a bunch of different ways, in a bunch of different groups and so on. So they're all skilled improvisers. But we get together like usually right before a show, fairly closely to the time of a show. In the beginning, there was more practice, but now we just get together like once before a show, and we kind of talk some things through and just run some stuff for fun, and that's pretty much it. Of course, it's very different now with the Zoom piece. Anybody want to say anything about that? How that's changed the show, or?
It's changed the show a lot for me. Running sound on Zoom is difficult. It's hard to trust what the audience is hearing. There's a lot of guesswork. So we just set up as well as we can during practice, and then I go in the show. It's just really different. I'm not going to say it's bad, because it's just not the same.
Sure. Eli?
Yeah, I feel like a part of it also feels a little more like vulnerable too, because usually when we're like in the space together, we can feel how everybody's feeling, and you can see people on the back line. So you like know that someone's going to come up with you if you go on. But here you kind of just have to click a button and like hope someone comes in with you. So it's been like a lot, and we have to try a lot harder to be on the same page, I think, over Zoom. So I think it provides an extra new challenge.
Sure.
Cool. And while that, tell us what you are in real life.
Yes. All right. So I'm Eli, and I'm a senior at Grant High School currently, and I do a lot of theater at my school and also around the Portland area, mostly with OCT, and planning to go to college next year, studying something related to theater or comedy. So one of those two.
Awesome. And Sylvia, who played Cass.
I am also a high school senior, I am also planning to go to college next year, also in something to do with the arts, theater, BFA, BA, hopefully. Um, I all do theater at Grant, at Oregon Children's Theater. I'm part of the YP company, and with comedy sports as well. Um, and yeah, it's been really very different online. It's a lot harder to get a vibe of the audience, to figure out what they're into, what's funny.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more room for mistake, and it's harder. I think one of the beautiful things about improv is that usually the mistakes you make become the funniest parts of the show. And with this, it's harder to work with them. They certainly uh, do become really hilarious parts of the show, but they're a little bit more obvious uh,
Yeah.
on screen.
They are, and it's like when somebody comes on when they realize something else is going to be happening, and they're like, "Oh," and then the camera goes off. It happens. We all see it, right?
It's a
So,
good challenge. It's a good
and then,
challenge.
yep, and then sometimes you get attacked by cats during the show who want to be on screen. So,
How about you,
uh,
Max Throckmorton?
yeah,
Oh,
Also known as Cohen.
I go by Cohen by day, and I work at an NBC news station in Boise, Idaho. So we started this group last 2019, summer 2019, and that was really fun doing it live. And then I couldn't do it anymore because I moved away. But with Zoom, it doesn't really matter where you are. So I rejoined.
And how about Millie over there, Miss Fiona?
Oh, yes, I'm Fiona. Um, by day, I am a university student here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Um, I study theater online. It's very interesting degree. um, but yeah, it's that's all I'm doing right now. I do theater online and I read books about the apocalypse, which is where this all came from.
cool. All right, Ruth, how about you? What do you do?
I am a speech pathologist. And so I do that during the day. I work for Providence Elder Place, and sometimes I get to do some theater with some of the chronically old, as I call them. That's my theater group, the chronically old. And then I do obviously comedy sports, and I'm a co-owner of Comedy Sports, and I do some other theater around town periodically.
Yep, and also the thespian advisor at Grant High School.
That is true.
Yes.
That is a connection.
Might have recognized a connection there.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this is Flanders. He's 11, and that's pretty much his story. He has food issues. And I'm Patrick Short. I'm the co-owner with Ruth and general manager of CSC Portland, and this is what I do for a living. And for other interesting things, I'm a songwriter, and I record pop music and write lots of songs, and including many with Amy Gray, who's on screen. We have an album from last year called the Traffic Safety Album, all about driving safely.
And yes,
And,
in answer to Alan's previous question, we do eat sand.
Yeah, sure.
And then Nathan asked a question.
Yes, how is doing long form? I'm going to assume it's long form for different for us than doing comedy sports for those who do both. That's a great question. So several people in here play comedy sports. So I don't have to be the person who answers that. So if anybody wants to step up to that, I see Millie. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. Well, I actually grew up obviously in the CSZ family, and then so I did short form. I don't know when I started. I was probably like 12 or younger. I don't know, and then I got to college and I joined the improv group, thinking, yeah, I know everything about improv now. And they were like, yes, so we only do long form. And it was at first a bit of a shock, but I think it's really fun being able to do the different things and sort of see how they land on different audiences. I really like long form right now because it's a great way to get deeper into a character, and it's a different kind of thinking, a sort of long term thinking, I guess, that goes into it that I think is really interesting and good for the brain. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good doing different styles of things. One thing is if you watch comedy sports, you might think, okay, it's everything's like 3 or 4 minutes long and there's no connection. But honestly, we're making a whole arc in those shows as well. It's just sort of a different kind of thinking, and the framework is a little more established than it is with something like this.
I think Michael had a take on that question too.
Yeah. Doing improv, not as long, and doing improv around town in the different theaters and different styles, different forms, different techniques and theories. Comedy sports to me is quicker. It's a competitive, not a bad competitive. It's fast paced and you keep track of score and you're really it's really like a team thing. Um, whereas long form, like Millie said, it's it's something that you can really rest on. You can establish a character. You can get really deep into a story. You can. It's more of a story thing that you want to piece together with your partners when you do long form, opposed where comedy sports and a lot of other short form is just really quick hitting and get it done and make your point and get out. So
Yeah. Amy says you sweat more.
yeah.
Is that really true? You sweat more in long form?
Mm,
Well, simply because you have more time to sweat.
Ah,
I think I sweat it more on the comedy sports stage. I don't think it's because of anything that we were doing. The lights are really
but
hot.
lights. Yeah.
So right now, I do have to say that Cohen is permitted to zip out because he is dog sitting, and the dog is getting anxious right now. So
The husky, it's making whiny noises. I don't know what this means. I don't do dogs, so
Oh, love the dog.
I would
yeah,
say.
go take care of the dog. We'll be fine.
Chris Carey asked, which is more difficult, long form or short?
I gotta say it really depends on the day.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I
some
don't
days
I
I'm
don't
more
I don't see a
focused.
I don't see a difficulty difference in them. They're different. They're just
Yeah.
different things in some ways, and very much similar in some ways. It yeah. I mean, the best answer is, what are we doing right now? Is this hard? Right. So yeah. Cool.
If there
Michael's.
if there is a difference for me, I would say trying to do long form with people that you don't know would probably be
Hmm.
difficult. Whereas if you're doing short form, you can do short form and pick it up with anybody pretty much. But long form would probably be a little
I would
challenging.
agree. I would agree with that. You need to know people a little bit better. Short form, the framework is stronger, and comedy sports' version, the ref will take care of you.
Right.
So get into trouble, the ref will take care of it.
All right. I think we have time for one more statement. How about Sylvia? You have a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just very grateful that we started this before Zoom and we got to be in the room with everyone because
Yeah.
there's definitely a group mind aspect that is hard to develop over a screen. So I think it's definitely there's pros and cons to both long form and short form. I love them both equally. I can't pick favorites, but it's
Yeah.
in this group we've kind of established I wouldn't say patterns, but we've established group mind in a way that makes it a lot more helpful.
Yep.
I think between this and several of us also do Shakespeare, our Shakespearean improv group, which I would invite you to come and watch sometime. And if people are interested in being part of that too, that would be great. Yeah, and I really would. I want to shout out to the Grant High School group, some of whom came tonight to watch. Thank you, many of whom, and also and our young people who are in this group. I'd really love to see you guys try some long form with your improv or with your your improv group and your thespian group at school. So
Cool. Well, we're gonna call an ending to it. I'm going to jam on a brief song here to take us out for a couple minutes. If there's any way for some support, I'm going to paste that back in, and that'll be in chat. We appreciate it totally. And we'll see you down the line. Tomorrow night, Comedy Sports Portland versus San Jose at 7 p.m. Go to portlandcomedy.com to get your free link. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Hey, $20.99, hang around.